Hey, what is up, kids? Welcome back to Tom Clark Reviews, the only quick hits pop culture show starring a guy named Tom Clark who looks like this, wearing this, and saying stuff. Before we get started here today, kids, do me a big favor, if you will. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you notice there's been no cuts so far. This is not going to be a typical edition of Tom Clark Reviews. This is actually going to be a lot quicker than what I've done here in the past, and there's a good reason for that. Number one, I got lots to do today. That's not really it. But honestly, I just wanted to really get in here and talk about the Superman film. Don't know if you guys have seen it yet. If you've not, we're here to talk about that again for just a little bit here today. But also, just to let you know that since you have maybe seen and heard a lot of different reviews and takes from folks who are comic book fans, maybe they're not comic book fans, maybe they're great reviews, maybe they're terrible, maybe they're somewhere in between. As a guy who has read and loved comics since he was a toddler, okay, till now, I'm going to give you an unbiased review. All right, I know what you're thinking, Tom. We've seen your stuff before, and you tend not to hate things. Well, you're right. There's a good reason for that. I don't like to put that kind of crap out there. I just don't. If I hate something that much, I'm probably not going to talk about it. There, I said it. But I promise you this, you're going to get my full review. I'm not going to go through the entire film, but I'm just going to give you, again, it's a quick edition of Tom Clark Reviews. So I want to give you some real thoughts. No script, sans notes. This is just me talking off the cuff. Let me tell you what I think about this film. Number one, I thoroughly enjoyed Superman. I know, again, it's a shock, right? But let me tell you why. The buzz on this character for the longest time has always been that you can't relate to him, that he's untouchable, that he's super, okay? Hence the name, that he, bullets fly off the sky. His life is perfect. Everything's great. Everything's coming up Superman all the time. He's got a great girlfriend. He's got a good job. He's got a city that depends on him. Everybody loves Superman. Okay. And again, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful locomotive, all that stuff. He can fly and all that. How in the world can anybody relate to him? Well, there's also the case of how can anybody relate to a guy that has this proportional strength of a spider? Well, I'll tell you why. Because that's Marvel Comics and that's a different beast altogether. As you guys know, Stan Lee back in the day insisted that the characters in Marvel Comics be real. They have some grit to them, some grain, right? Which has always been the thing about Marvel versus DC over the years, is that in the Marvel universe, the stories are about the people wearing the masks, not about the masks. And in DC, it's reversed. Okay. Well, let me tell you this. We were all holding our breath, collectively holding our breath as comic book fans, or maybe just as fans of the comic book movie genre in general, and hoping beyond hope that James Gunn would have cracked the code for this Superman film. Well, brother, let me tell you, I believe he cracked the code, because now Superman, at least this version, is not a character that I can't relate to. This is a real dude. And as much as a guy can be real that bullets bounce off of, Superman gets his butt kicked in a lot of this film. Maybe too much. I've heard that said in a couple of 2-3 reviews. It is what it is. Well, it's open for debate depending on how super you like your Superman, right? But look, here's what I'll tell you. Again, to me, this is just very relatable, man. This guy's got problems. His life isn't great because he's Superman. In fact, if he didn't have powers, his life probably a lot better. Sound familiar? Sounds like Peter Parker to me. Okay? That's number one. Number two, he's got friends in this movie. And it ain't the Justice League, it's the Justice Gang. That's right. Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. By the way, Nathan Fillion is fantastic. David Cornsweet is great, also in this role, but more on that in a second. But again, as I said before, this is not the Superman that maybe we couldn't relate to in the past. This ain't your daddy's Superman or your granddaddy's Superman for that matter. This is something altogether different. You want to know why it has to be different? Because you got to adapt, man. This is an adaptation, as we all know. This is not actually Superman. The Superman in the comic books is not this person, okay? Not this actor, not this character. This is an adaptation of the comic books, and it's great, okay? We can sit around all day and debate the Zack Snyder stuff. I have. It's exhausting. If you're a Zack Snyder fan and this wasn't your cup of tea, I get it, I suppose. But you know what? It is what it is. Let's just move on with our lives. Not saying you got to be happy about it, but you still got your Zack Snyder films. No one took them away from you, I assume. So you're still good to go. If you don't like this version of Superman, so be it. But I personally relate to this guy a heck of a lot more than I did before. Okay. And that's just me talking. I love the original Christopher Reeve version. To me, he is the best version of all time. I appreciate other versions that have come along. Tyler Hoechlin, and hopefully I'm not butchering his last name. Fantastic. Okay. Brandon Routh. Love Brandon Routh. You know, there's some stuff been said about the Dean Cain guy, and I'm not a big Dean Cain fan for a lot of reasons, but not the least of which is that he decided to go attack the franchise that without the franchise, no one will know who Dean Cain is. I said it. I don't care. Okay. It's the truth. He's allowed to have an opinion. He's also allowed to be wrong. Because let me tell you this, as much as Superman is relatable, as much as he is, again, the bullets are bouncing, he's a big tough dude, and he can fight the Gaijus and the monsters and whatever. Dude, to be honest, this is not a woke Superman. And I'm gonna be straight with you. I was kind of okay if it had been. I like to think I'm a forward-thinking guy. I'm a progressive-minded kind of guy. I live in 2025. You see the gray, but I'm not in my mind. I'm not that, right? I'm in the here and now, right? I try to be as current as I can. And I feel like I'm pretty open-minded in a lot of things. If this had been a woke Superman, I'd tell you. And again, I probably would have been okay with that. This is not a woke Superman. All those people who hate this because it's too woke, blah, 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 they're just saying that because they just want to hate. Okay? I promise you, that's not what you're getting with this movie, man. That's not what you're getting here. That's not the case at all. This movie doesn't preach. It's not too heavy handed. I mean, if I had heard nothing about it's woke, blah, 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 whatever, I would never have even thought of that. Now, I can't speak for you. Maybe you saw this movie and felt like you got slapped in the face with the whole woke stuff. So be it. I just don't know where you're getting that from. Okay. To me, this Superman is number one, a good guy. Number two, like a really good person. And he's more human than anybody else in this film. And the dude's not even, he's an alien, but he's more human than anybody in this film, which is how he's supposed to be. Okay. James Gunn nailed this, kids. Just straight up nailed it. This thing isn't woke. If anything, maybe it doesn't go hard enough. You know, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. By the way, Nicholas Holt's fantastic. Is it too much like the doofus that's running the country right now? Again, it's my show. I say I don't care. Okay, maybe, but is it enough? Is it so much like them that you see a copy or like, oh, I know what they're doing? No. Lex Luthor is a supervillain. That's his power, is deceit and his intelligence, and he's too smart for his own good. And, you know, he dresses up murder and calls it something else. That's what Lex has done through the entirety of the character, no matter if it's in the comics or a TV show or a movie or whatever, or a novel or what have you. I'm just being straight with you, man. I know I call it like I see it, and that's what I see. And that's what you're getting with this Lex Luthor. He's fantastic. There's just not enough of anything here to lead me to believe that James Gunn or the screenwriter and James Gunn wrote the film, right? But that anybody behind the scenes had some sort of woke agenda. It's just not true. So anybody out there, again, I told you up front, I was just going to give you an honest review from the heart and be straight with you. You're not getting that in this movie. Some people bumped into the whole, and by the way, spoilers in case you hadn't seen it, spoilers, right? Probably should have said that from the beginning, right? But a lot of guys and people and reviewers and fans in general bumped into the thing with Jor-El. And in other words, Superman's parents sending him here to conquer the earth, to rule, and to take many wives. I didn't bump into that at all. It's okay if you did. It's okay if you don't like it. To me, it adds another layer, another texture to this character. Again, he's more interesting now. This Superman is way more interesting than any version besides Christopher Reeve that I've ever seen. And again, I love me some Brandon Routh. I love me some Tyler Hoechlin. I really, really do. But to me, this is a very, very relatable, interesting version of Superman. And, you know, again, regardless of anybody else's work, I think Hornswell is fantastic. I think this was the right guy. I think Reginald Brosnahan as Lois is fantastic. You know, I keep using that word. It's just true. Nathan Fillion was born to play Guy Gardner. We can say all day he's born to play Hal Jordan. I don't know that he was now. Because after seeing his Guy Gardner, I don't know if I can picture him anymore And by the way, that Lantern show, he's supposed to feature prominently in it. Kudos. I can't wait to see that. Again, this is not going to be a long review. I just want to give it to you straight. We previewed the trailer here. We've talked about Superman, this movie, on the 6M podcast. And by the way, if you'd like to, check out, by the way, we haven't covered this on the 6M podcast in case you're expecting the card down here, right? But just in case you'd like to check out the 6M podcast, we had talked about some other stuff here. Check out that little thumbnail right there. I'm going to put something good there. It's probably going to be a, you know what? Maybe we'll put the original Superman film, the Christopher Reeve, right there. Look, see, there it is. You can look at it right now, can't you? All right. Go check that out. We covered that on the 6M podcast. We covered the entire original trilogy, actually. But anyway, again, I didn't want this video to be very long. I just wanted to be a very quick hits thing, quicker than usual, and just give you my honest review. I wanted to push back against the buzz that a lot of people throwing at this film. I just don't understand it. And I'll be honest with you. If you walk away from this movie offended, if you walk away from this movie feeling that it's too blah, 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 can I be straight with you? I think it might say a lot more about you than it does this film or any agenda that you think the film may have. It's okay if you disagree. I'm here for it. It's fine. You know what I mean? We can agree to disagree, and you can hopefully continue to subscribe to my channel and look at my stuff, and I appreciate that very much. But dude, I'm just being straight with you here, man. I just don't see what all the nonsense is about. I mean, if you go into something wanting to hate it, you're probably gonna hate it. I didn't go into this movie wanting to love it. I didn't go into this movie expecting to love it. As a comic book fan, can I be straight with you? Although I support comic book films in general, and I want them to do well because that means they make more of them, which is good for me as a fan. I go into it ready to be analytical. I go into it ready to dissect it. I didn't have a whole lot to do here. I'm just being honest with you. Again, this is me being blunt with you, giving you an honest take on this. Don't listen to anybody else. I'm going to wrap it up. Don't listen to anybody else, okay? You don't want to listen to me? Cool, whatever. What I'm saying is don't listen to the hate that's out there, all right? Go see this film if you haven't seen it. Go spend the money. Go to a matinee. Save yourself at least a couple bucks, right? Do what you can do. Go to the cheap theater in your town. Whatever you want to do. If you don't want to go to the big honking massive screen and the cushy seats and all. If you don't want to do that, don't do that. But like, give this movie a chance, man. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did. If you like James Gunn at all, if you like anything the dude ever did with Guardians or anything else, enjoy this film. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was hoping to come out of this with a clear vision of what's going to happen with the DCU moving forward. We got it. We got it. I think they're set. James Gunn set the table. And as long as the creators that come after him, whether it's him or whoever else they start handing these projects to, as long as these men and women don't drop the ball and the casting's on point, this thing's got some legs, baby. And as a comic book fan, I'm excited. I want the DC universe to be a success. I've been saying that for years. I want it to be a success. I think they're off to a good start. That's all I got for you this time, kids. A little bit longer than I thought maybe it would be. Again, if you will, kids, hit like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future content from Boink Studios. And also, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you seen this film? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm full of crap? You are going to see it again because you love it so much? Do you have no plans on seeing it because you believe everything that you've been told by these wacky people who say it's woke? Hit me in the comments and let's talk about it. That's all I got for you, kids. Thanks for watching Tom Clark Reviews, and we'll see you next time, kids.